From beautiful downtown Phoenix, Arizona, welcome to the Cheez-It Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. We're inside Chase Field, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks for this Mountain West Pac-12 matchup. And talk about a contrast in styles, the triple option of the 10-win Air Force Falcons against the air raid of 6-6 Washington State. Fifth straight bowl trip for the Cougars, eighth 10-win season in Air Force history. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Phoenix alongside my partner, Wazoo Hall of Famer Ryan Leaf. I'm Clay Matvick. Glad to have you with us. Taylor McGregor down on the sidelines tonight. You have to be impartial for this game. You know that, right?
Well, if I happen to yell out "Go Cougs" during the game, you can slap me. How about that? We'll call it that one.
You're 6'6". I doubt that's going to happen. All right, we talked about a contrast. And, you know, these air raid quarterbacks under Mike Leach traditionally do very well. And we have seen a great year for Anthony Gordon.
It hasn't mattered who's been in there, but we've seen them get better year in, year out. Gardner Minshew a year ago. This year, Anthony Gordon. I've never seen fluid, more easy throwing motion, very quick out of his hands. He is a gunslinger, too. He doesn't mind taking risks down the football field. Real special young man.
We talked about the triple option attack of Air Force. You think about the running game when you think about the triple option. It's the third best rushing attack in the country. But don't get lulled to sleep because DJ Hammond can really spin it.
The boy can. He's got a couple great targets out there. They lead the nation in yards per catch. Both of these guys are over 25 yards. Gerard Sanders in particular right here, he's the guy everybody's looking for. The safeties are already up 8 to 10 yards, and if any little mishap happens, just like the defender over him gets picked, away he goes, and those safeties being that low, there is no angle deep enough for them to get back into the route. Hammond finds Sanders over the top here, and no one there to touch him in this Broncos game up at Boise State. We follow that with the Colorado State game. Here, straight man coverage with a free safety in the middle. Now, his job is to spy Sanders crossing the field. But watch what happens when you have 7 individuals in that mix. Guys get in each other's way. And if anything happens where a guy trips over somebody, the man falls down, you're in man-to-man coverage, away you go in this triple option. The wide receivers become blockers down the football field, and it's just a matter of time for this team to get to the end zone.
It's about assignment football when it comes to defending the option. For more on that, let's go down to Taylor McGregor.
Well, Clay, Washington State, in order to slow down Air Force's offense, is going to lean on interim defensive coordinator Rock Bellatoni, who took over the defensive play call after this team started 0-2 in conference play. He was brought over in the offseason as a linebackers coach from the University of Buffalo, and if there's anything that makes him the perfect guy for the job right now, it's the fact that the past 2 years in Buffalo, he's had to prepare for Army, a team who also plays the triple option offense, and so he told us he was able to draw a lot from that, but he said it's so hard to prepare for them because you just can't replicate the live reps. And so, Ryan, my question to you is, what does his defense need to do today against a team that he's never seen the live action like?
Yeah, it's been pretty special, and you haven't been able to actually replicate that in practice. But I think he has 4 needs here, right? They have to line up correctly, and the eyes are going to tell the story. The eyes can never go away from where they need to look. Assignment is your assignment. Always be where you're supposed to be, and don't get bored. After doing the same thing all football game long, you can't decide and try to be a hero all of a sudden and then miss out where a big play happens.
Going against Coach Leach is Coach Calhoun. Troy Calhoun, 53 years old. 10th bowl game in his 13 seasons at Air Force. Air Force won the toss. They elected to defer their option to the second half. So we'll see that #1 passing attack of Washington State right out of the gate. Conkey has it on the tee, and Jake Conkey has it in the air. We're underway in the Cheez-It Bowl 2019, and it's a short kick fielded by Travell Harris at the 10. He's going to take it up the right sideline and get close to the 30-yard line. All right, let's bring out Anthony Gordon out of Pacifica, California, Terra Nova High School. 5th-year senior, nationally anonymous 5 months ago. Didn't play football until high school. No FBS offers, so he went to City College of San Francisco. And that's where Mike Leach noticed him. Spent a couple of years backing up really good quarterbacks here at Wazoo, Falk and Minshew. First down and 10 from the 28-yard line. And Gordon, as they want to do, goes right to the air to Aesop Winston the senior out of San Francisco, who he has great chemistry with. They were at City College together in San Francisco, and there you see the numbers. Nation's leading passer, over 5,200 yards and 45 touchdowns, both Pac-12 records.
Yeah, and a lot of times in this offense, you tend to look at the yards per attempt. He's at 8.1 yards. That is significant. That is pretty darn impressive in this air raid offense.
Play fake, man open over the middle, and right away in the plus territory, he finds Brandon Arconado, the senior out of Chino Hills, California. And that's a gain of 21.
Now, the Cougars will not have a traditional tight end in the air raid, so they use a Y in Brandon Arconado, and he's been as established as anybody in this offense.
A couple of plays at Wazoo right on the march. They'll run it for the first time with Max Borghi. Very capable as a rushing running back, known for his receiving ability. Zane Lewis brings him down, but that's another explosive play. 17 for the Cougs on that mark.
You know, I think he's the best player on this football team, pound for pound. And what he's able to do when he gets out on the perimeter is as speedy as any of these wide receivers. And the more you can get him the football, the more explosive this offense is going to be, if you can imagine that.
In 3 plays, they're to the 19 of Air Force. Gordon dumps it off. Inside the 10, Bell. And he's finally brought down at the 6. Renard Bell, the junior out of LA. And how about this opening series for Washington State? That's a 23-yard play.
You know, I felt it was going to be really difficult for the Air Force defense. They wouldn't be able to replicate this in practice in any way for what Washington does, and they spaced the field apart better than anybody. The San Antonio Spurs from their heyday, very similar to what Washington State looks like on the grass field.
Yeah, it's basketball on the grass. This Bermuda grass at Chase Field. Gordon is going to fling it out the back of the end zone. And that is the first play that didn't bear any fruit. So the roof is closed here in downtown Phoenix. Ideal conditions for this air raid attack here inside Chase Field, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And, you know, it's been a rainy, wet day. Washington State is glad the roof is closed.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I mean, they play in elements all the time, and they've learned how to throw in rainy type of elements like that, so it's not a problem, but he's definitely licking his chops with the roof closed tonight.
To the end zone, that's going to sail past Tane Martin. Tall, rangy junior receiver out of Louisiana. Trey Bugg in on the coverage.
I will say this, they've been really good from the 20s, okay, inside the 20-yard line, and when they've gotten inside the red zone, at least lately, they've struggled to capitalize with touchdowns. They've kicked a lot of field goals later in the year, and that was one of the questions they wanted answered early on, and they're getting their chance right now.
42 red zone touchdowns, 10th most in the country. Gordon started 3 for 3 passing. He's missed his last 2 attempts. Borghi in the backfield with Gordon. And it is Borghi picking his way toward the goal line. He is going to be stopped at the 2, and it'll be 4th down and goal and decision time here for the mad scientist.
Well, he's going to go for it. I mean, this is what he does. They came to Phoenix not to kick a field goal, right? They came to Phoenix to score touchdowns and put on a show in the air raid. So I'd go right back to Max Borghi. I'd space him out, spread them apart, make them count those numbers, and let Borghi do his job inside. But it looks like they're going to squish everything down. Watch for them to go to Tay Martin on the outside here.
Wind up to the bottom of your screen. It is a run to Borghi, and he is going to be stood up at the 1. Goal line stand for Air Force. An impressive opening series for Washington State, but it bears 0 fruit. Jeremy Fetchelum with the goal line tackle.
Right here, the numbers just don't add up for them to run the football. You got one-on-one on the outside, and Mike Leach decides to run the football with their very capable running back, but too many guys up there. This is a numbers game for Air Force, and they were right there to make the stop. This is reminiscent of what the Pac-12 championship looked like the other night. Utah got stopped on 4th down, and all of a sudden, this steamroll started to happen.
Jake Shazuk, who grew up in Tucson here in Arizona. He was number 48 there for Air Force. Also helped keep Borghi out of the end zone. And now Air Force, backed up against their own goal line, will take over. DJ Hammond has been under center all year in his triple option attack. And We'll get some breathing room as Taven Bordeaux moves the stack out across the 10-yard line, the senior from Oklahoma. DJ Hammond III out of Hampton, Georgia. Just a terrific athlete. Besides football, was a track and baseball star at Eagles Landing Christian in McDonough, Georgia. Very smart young man. Aeronautical engineering student. There's so many brilliant kids in Air Force uniforms tonight.
That's an understatement. You're an aeronautical engineer. Yeah, I'd love that on my bio.
It's not on mine either, partner. Here's Hammond running that option. He's going to hang on to it and cruise to the 16-yard line, where Travion Brown, the nickelback, steps up to make the hit. There you see the numbers on Hammond. He threw for 327 and 4 touchdowns at New Mexico. I mean, he doesn't pass it a lot, but like we said before, Ryan, when he does, there's some zip, there's some accuracy and touch.
And they're for big gainers, right? Every time they attempt to pass, it's 13 yards. Every time they attempt one, people. So that is something to keep an eye on, and watch out for these wide receivers down the football field with how low these safeties get.
We'll go back to the fullback, Bordeaux. And goes up the middle. It's going to yield little. Jahad Woods, number 13 for Washington State, who's going to be in on a lot of tackles tonight. He's 9th in the country in tackles. He made the stop. So it'll be 2nd down and about 6.
Yeah, the junior from San Diego Helix High School there, Jahad Woods, is going to be in on a lot of tackles because he's not going to have much passes that are attempted his way. I think, you know, 6 passes last game for Hammond, so they're going to not be dropping so much, but need to make solid tackles in space.
Peterson right to left in motion. Hammond pitches it out. This is Caden Remsburg, his first touch. Good run, but he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. Remsburg almost 900 yards rushing. That leads Air Force and is 7th in the Mountain West. But there you see the offensive numbers. Close to 300 rushing yards per game, 3rd in the country. And they have ranked in the top 10 for 36 of the last 38 years in rushing.
It's the polar opposite. Both teams make for problems for other defenses having to prepare for these types of offenses. Washington State, same boat as Air Force is in, going up against the air raid.
Christian Mallard, number 25, is checked in as a fullback. Hammond followed a block, and he's going to have the first down. DJ Hammond accounts for 25 total touchdowns this year. He is just a tough runner. Needed a couple, he got 3.
Yeah, this is just a simple dive, and he takes it from right there. Has a lead blocker, steps right in, and look at the physical nature of this quarterback. Boy, he was hyped. I was out on the field before the game, and he was psyched. He threw one ball 70 yards when they were warming up, and I thought, will he ever have to do that in a game? I guess it just got him prepped up because he was physical right there to get that first down.
Here's Mallard. Christian Mallard, the senior out of San Antonio. He has had the best year of his career. You talk about their senior class from Air Force, Ryan. And it's 7 straight wins now for the team. And after that loss at Navy in early October, the team vowed not to lose again. That really came from the senior leaders.
It did. And they played games like Hawaii, who would end up winning the division on the other side in the Mountain West and really destroying them out there on the island. Been really special. 10-2 this season, looking for their 11th win.
They'll pitch it back to Remsburg. Remsburg looking for leverage on the outside. He finds it. Nice run for Caden Remsburg, the tailback. He has some terrific speed, and when he gets loose, look out. So they'll move the chains.
You know, when you're up against this triple option, right, your eyes have to tell the story, okay? You're clued in to who you got. If your eyes come up at all, especially when they're not running a dive, but rather a toss sweep right there, you're already behind the 8 ball. You can't get out leverage like that, and Remsburg's able to blow through the hole and pick up another first down.
You know, Taylor talked about it. The 19 days to prep for the triple option, that's good extra time, but it still might not be enough because you just don't see it every day. Bordeaux again, that'll get a handful. And defense, as you've touched on, has not been a strong suit for Washington State. You know, Tracy Claeys was the defensive coordinator to start the year. He resigned 5 games into the season. Rock Bellantoni taking over that assignment. But missed tackles have been an issue. 9th play of the series, all runs for Air Force.
And half the quarter is gone.
Berto on the fullback dive, and that's going to be about a yard shy of the first down marker as he gets to the 45-yard line of Washington State. Yeah, we're under 7 minutes to go here in the opening quarter already. Air Force 7th in time of possession this year, almost 35 minutes per game.
And when you get in a situation with this Air Force Falcons team, when you're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, they get off at a clip of 87% on conversion.
2nd in the nation on 3rd down. 55% for the Falcons. First down, Berto. Inside the 40-yard line, down at the 39. He is their workhorse. A team-high 160 carries. And that figures to be more tonight because Timothy Jackson, their other successful fullback, is out with an ankle injury tonight.
Yeah, he's really going to be the workhorse. And he's the guy that usually gets the dive, right? The first option in this triple option. And he's so physical with the football, especially when he breaks that first level. You put a linebacker or a safety making tackles all day long, it's going to be a long day at work.
It was Ben Peterson in motion. Hammond design run. They'll find some weaving room up the middle and get inside the 35-yard line. And as effective as the running game has been here on this opening drive, you know, they may keep that pass in their back pocket for a while.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised right here if we see a little play action and go over the top. 2nd and 5. They're really good at 3rd down in that distance. Maybe they take a shot here with one of those big plays at the wide receiver position we talked about.
11 plays, all run, 64 yards garnered on this series so far. Mallard, the lone setback. They pitch it out to Remsburg. Remsburg with a first down carry inside the 25. That's another first down for Air Force, a gain of 10, and Gerard Sanders is going to walk out onto the field really for the first time, I believe, on this series. Gerard Sanders, the favorite target of DJ Hammond, national leader in yards per catch. But again, they haven't thrown it yet. Hammond, pitch to Remsburg, has some real estate, and tumbles to the 8-yard line. George Hicks, junior cornerback out of San Bernardino, made the stop, and that clock continues to wind.
Hicks, the example there, eyes tell the story. He was right on the pitch guy, was able to pull him down before a bigger play happens. But if they keep getting, you know, 5, 6 yards a pop, it's going to be a long night for Wazoo.
Remsburg slips a tackle, gets inside the 5, and he's going to be close to another first down. Woods caught him, but not before they will get the first down. 1st and goal to go from the 3 for the Falcons. And here we go, under a minute to play now in the opening quarter.
Here's a good look at the pylon cam here on the first down marker. Right here, he gets away from Beekman enough. Woods brings him down, but not until he steps in front of that first down marker.
Cheez-It Cam bringing us the replay on that last play. It's all about Cheez-It tonight here in Phoenix. Mallard stopped at the 1. A heavy dose of Berto and Mallard at fullback on this Air Force drive.
And that's the quarter.
That is the last play of the opening 15 minutes.
It couldn't have gone worse for the Cougars to get stopped after a great drive, and then for Air Force to absolutely take the air out of the stadium.
How do you defend the #1 passing attack in the country? You don't let them touch the football. That's the game plan for Troy Calhoun and Air Force. So far, so good after 1.
No score after one quarter as we take a look at the transformation of Chase Field over the past 2 days to prepare for this bowl game. Each year they raise grass specifically for this bowl game at a desert area just outside of downtown Phoenix. They raise 90,000 square feet of grass that weighs about 15 pounds per square foot, and then they cover it all over 2 days. And then what's really cool is they will take this grass and donate it each year, and this year it'll go to a local elementary school, Clay.
Oh, it's terrific. Thanks to the people here at Chase Field for getting this place ready. DJ Hammond keeping it himself, lunging, and got him. What a drive. Over 12 minutes.
98 yards.
The Air Force defense making a goal line stand, and then this Air Force offense, the first time they touch it, march it the length of the field.
I mean, I said it before we went to break there. It couldn't have played out worse for the Washington State Cougars right now. And Air Force clearly giving a bit of their own medicine back to Washington State.
So that's how the second quarter starts. Here's Jake Conkey, the kicker, coming on for the extra point. 7-0. The Air Force Falcons looking for an 11-win season in 2019. Their star quarterback DJ Hammond capping a 12-minute, 23-second drive. We're in Phoenix. He's Ryan Leaf. I'm Clay Matvick. Taylor McGregor down on the field. We just watched a soul-sucking drive, Ryan Leaf, for the Air Force Falcons. 12.5 minutes. 98 yards. And a good return across the 25 to the 26 for Harris. All right, so for Washington State, Ryan, a lot of crazy games. Easily could have 8 or 9 wins. No top 25 wins as it happened. That UCLA game was devastating. They had a 32-point second-half lead and blew it. They lost to Arizona State, a close game. Defeated by Oregon. Game-winning field goal as time expired for the Ducks. Now, they did get a nice win against Oregon State late in the year. But you look at the schedule and think, yeah, there should have been a couple more wins in there.
Yeah, they were really only out of 2 games. They were beat thoroughly by Utah and by Washington.
Now let's see how the Cougars respond. Arcanado was open downfield again, but Gordon ran out of time to throw, and he flips it away. As you look at numbers on Gordon, these are all single season records.
Okay, so I'm going to just say this right now, all right? I led the nation in passing in 1997, okay? 410 attempts I had all year. He has 470 completions, Clay. He has more completions than I even attempted. Where was the air raid in 97?
There are people watching who weren't alive in 1997.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
It was in it was a while ago, people.
I feel for you, buddy. I know what you're feeling, actually. As Borghi goes across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Borghi averages 6.7 yards per touch, rushing and receiving.
All right, he's the leading receiver on this football team. He's their leading rusher. He touches the ball more than anybody, and I think still he needs to touch it more for them to be even more explosive.
And maybe he will here on 3rd down and 6. They need to get to the 48 of Air Force, and they will. Nice catch. Arcanado, and yards after the catch. Takes it all the way to the 26-yard line. That's a pickup of 28.
The route is great. Watch him just get outside this, but it's a great throw. He puts it in a place where he can catch it and get out on the run and pick up a lot more after that first down.
So now 1st down and 10. Washington State trying to answer after that long touchdown drive by the Falcons. Another completion, this one to Patman. Down to the 10, and now this offense is finding rhythm again. That's a gain of 16. Back in the red zone are the Cougs.
If you watched a little play action there, Clay, just enough for the linebacker to get on some roller skates. There he goes.
I want to make a correction. Gordon actually 45 touchdown passes. We had that transposed. Got it fixed. As Deion McIntosh checks in, he's number 16, and he goes from left to right of Gordon in the backfield. Gordon, quick release again. And that is caught by Patman down at the 6-yard line. Patman, 6'4", 225 pounds. He can create space.
He's the most physical of the wide receivers. And his catch radius, by far, we were watching him in warm-ups and catching it up above his head. Watch for him down here in the end zone, especially on the back end. They're able to throw it as high as they can over the tops of the DBs. And the likes of Des Patman's able to go up and get it.
There's Arconato. He tried to move upfield, but dumped after catching it at the 3-yard line by Grant Teal. But just everybody getting involved on this series. I think you mentioned it before, 7 guys with over 500 yards receiving on this roster.
And 7 guys with over 4 touchdowns, too. So anybody can be a viable option down here. You're going to get man-to-man coverage up on the top of the screen here. You might see something up here with these two matched up like that.
Here comes play number 10 on this series. Borghi to the left of Gordon. He'll throw, and it's overthrown. Intended for Arconato. He was matched up with Fedulum. Jeremy Fedulum, an excellent defensive free safety, has a couple of interceptions this year.
Identical drive for them than the first, right? They moved right down the football field. Here we are again. 4th and goal at the 2. Mike Leach has a decision to make. Do they try to run it again into that stacked box, or do they go one-on-one? They're going to split it out more and go 2-by-2 with the wide receivers here.
And you see on 4th down, 65%. That's a good number. But they've been stopped once. This could be a turning point in the game here in the first half. Gordon, pressure, throws, caught, touchdown, Desmond Patman. Huge conversion on 4th down. It's a score for the Cougars, and it's the 8th receiving touchdown for Patman.
And probably his 4th read in the progression. What a great job from Anthony Gordon to go through each and every one of them and find his open man Patman on the back end of the end zone coming in on the dig route.
They had to have it.
Had to have it. You had to score points there. If you got shut down again, it would have been decimating to this football team.
Blake Mazza, a sophomore from Plano, Texas, Lou Groza finalist. That award went to Georgia's Rodrigo Blankenship. He tacks on the extra point, but that's the response Cougars fans wanted. We're tied up at 7. It's been a great year for the Air Force Falcons. 10-2, 7-1 in the Mountain West. Currently riding a 7-game win streak. 10-win regular season, the first for Troy Calhoun since taking over the program. They got to win 400 in program history, beating Wyoming to hit that milestone, and finish the regular season in the AP Top 25 for the first time in over 20 years. Troy Calhoun, 53 years old, played quarterback at Air Force back in the mid-'80s under Fisher DeBerry. Took over for DeBerry in 2007. And this is his 3rd 10-win season. He's never won 11. That'd be something if he could get that done here tonight. But Washington State punching it in on that last series, a must-have drive. Patman with the receiving touchdown. We're tied at 7. And Air Force is going to get it at the 25. It's Remsburg again. He's got a blocker in front of him. And the ball popped out, came out of bounds, and I think that's going to be a break for Air Force. It was knocked out by Justice Rogers, the fantastic middle linebacker, but it went out of bounds, and it'll stay in Air Force's possession.
But this football team is prepared all year long, and it's been competitive in every game.
They'll run it with Bordeaux, and that's another first down for the Falcons. Yeah, it's just a great year for the Mountain West. They had 4 double-digit win teams in that league this season.
It's become a really, really good conference. We got to see a bunch of it this year, but I can't say enough about these young men from the Air Force Academy and what it takes to be a young man that goes to school here and plays football as well. and to do it at such a high level this year, you got to commend every single one of them. And this group of seniors, Coach Calhoun talked about them and the commitment they made 4 years ago and where they've gotten to right now.
On first down, on the dive, Bordeaux again. Yeah, amazing people to say the least.
Yeah.
You have to have a 3.5 GPA or better just to get into the academy, not to mention the military commitment if you can graduate. So no doubt the best and the brightest.
Yeah, 1240 on your SATs, got to take 19 credits, got to go through basic training. You know, don't even worry about fall camp. You got to do 5 weeks of basic training before you even get here.
Second down and 7. We've seen 2 passes so far for the Air Force offense. Here's another pitch to Remsburg. He's going to get to the sideline, and that's going to be another Falcons first down as he is escorted out at the 34-yard line. A 9-yard clip that time. Woods took him to the sideline. And that clock continues to tick. Man, Air Force just chewing up clock here in the first half as we're well under 8 minutes.
Well, when they got the ball and there was about 10 minutes to go, I said to you, I don't know if it's enough time for them to score. But clearly they've had a few more chunk plays here. And right there, Jahad Woods' eyes kind of betrayed him, and he kept his eyes inside, and they were able to get to the perimeter and pick up another first down.
Nolan Erickson, his first touch, and he is going to be hog-tied at the 15-yard line. He's pulled out of bounds by Beekman. But Air Force in the red zone. And Washington State continues to have a hard time on first down.
Well, you know, Taylor told us about this before the game started, about how that you couldn't replicate what you were about to see tonight, right? Washington State couldn't replicate the triple option. Air Force couldn't replicate what the air raid was going to do. So it could have been a game just like this, back and forth.
The fullback Bordeaux just churning those big legs, and he gets 5. And it's going to be first down and goal to go for the Falcons again. A little over 5 minutes to go. And each team has had just 2 possessions. Now can Air Force cap another scoring drive in the red zone for the second time?
I don't see why I don't see how they're going to be stopped here. They have not been stopped all day long. So for me, they're just going to continue what they're doing. Chew up more time.
Toss to Remsburg. He had a blocker out there, but a great tackle. That's Beekman. Bryce Beekman out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Bryce Beekman in his safety position comes right up, and he sheds this block here just enough and was able to be jolly on the spot and make the tackle. It's one of their first plays where they've kept him within the line of scrimmage. 5.4 yards per play for Air Force today. So every time they run a play, they only need 2 plays to get a first down. So they're in a position right now against second down.
This will be Waters going in motion to the slot. Only the 3rd pass attempt for Hammond to the end zone, and that's underthrown. He was looking for Waters. And that's the first incompletion for DJ.
You know, for how they throw the football, that wasn't the best play call down in this position, because you play right into Washington State's strength on defense there, right? Move them outside the pocket, running to one side of the football field. You got to surprise them with play action, which is difficult down here, I know. And then get one-on-one shots.
Sanders at the top of your screen. He's their best receiver. Hammond going to the end zone. Incomplete. He wanted Waters again, but well covered by Skylar Thomas. The junior out of Riverside, California, and it's 4th down, and the field goal unit will come out.
And look at our Cheez-It camera. Ball's thrown a little late. He puts it in a good spot in his back shoulder, and that probably should have been interference. Beekman there a little early with the tackle, and it didn't give Waters a chance to actually extend and get the football.
And some people thought you weren't going to be impartial. I'm impressed. Way to go, Ryan. Here's Jake Conkey from 28 out of the hold of Charlie Scott, and he got it. Conkey has not missed a field goal attempt this year. A perfect 13 for 13. Air Force in front. All right, this was the Christmas card that Leach and the Washington State football team sent out this year with that beautiful picture of Mike that made its debut on College Game Day when the gang was in Pullman earlier this year.
You know, Mike Leach does have a little George Costanza in him, so it was befitting of the Leachonian there to pose for that picture. A lot of people think it's superimposed, but no, he posed for that.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a beauty. 5th straight bowl appearance for Washington State. That is a school record. Mike had his contract extended earlier this year through the 2024 campaign. The Pirate, the mad scientist, whatever you want to call him, he is entertaining. And the #1 passing attack is going to get it back. And might have pretty good field position, too. That's a short kick. Harris runs up and scampers across the 25-yard line as we go down to Taylor.
Guys, we know Mike Leach is one of a kind, but make no mistake, he prides himself on being different. I was told that it's a tradition of Washington State to go see a movie every night before game day. And so last night, the team split between Star Wars and Jumanji, but Coach Leach never goes to the movie that everybody else sees. He says, I like to see something different. So he went to Bombshell, but what's hilarious about that is he'll go see Bombshell at a different time and then just kind of pop into the different movies. And so guys said that all of a sudden they'll look to their left and there's Mike Leach, and then he'll be gone and he'll show up somewhere else. I'm like, sounds about right.
Gordon is sacked. Ball comes out and Air Force takes it away. Grant Donaldson, the outside linebacker, came in and stripped it, and Herrera recovered it.
Not many sacks allowed this year for how many attempts they have, but there's just a bust here. No one even finds Donaldson, and he gets to the quarterback and is able to strip the ball away. There's been one problem with Anthony Gordon that would be is turning the football over here. Right tackle misses it completely, and Donaldson gets to the quarterback. Air Force, huge turnover. Couldn't have been a worse situation for the Cougars right now. Air Force, with 3:27 to go, can extend this lead.
You talked about it being a problem for Washington State this season. -6 now in turnover margin, near the bottom of the FBS. That's the first of the game for either team. Hammond tried to cut it upfield. He's angry with himself as he slipped down at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's a few slips I've seen by some players out there. I looked as I walked the field before the game, and you know, this field was put together over the baseball field, and there's a lot of little slits in the grass, and it seems to the footing not being great for players in particular like DJ Hammond, who have to make a lot of cuts, put their foot in the ground and go.
Tell you what, though, this Bermuda grass looks good.
Well, it looks great.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Air Force trying to capitalize on a Wazoo turnover. Toss back, Remsburg cutting it up, finds a seam, lowers his helmet and gets to about the 12-yard line. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Of course, the Fiesta and Peach Bowls are tomorrow. The national semifinals. We're going to have previews, breakdowns for you, plus highlights from today's bowl games. It's going to be a great day of college football tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to have a blast. To spend it with some of our ESPN colleagues and watch what I think is going to be the best of the two national semifinals tomorrow. It's going to be a great game between elite teams in Clemson and Ohio State.
Dive Burdo. Boy, he almost broke it to the end zone, but he ran into the official. Taven Burdo, the big 6'1", 220-pound fullback out of Oklahoma, was on his way to a 7th rushing touchdown this year, but he ran into the umpire, Tim Owens.
This is a great look at just a trap play, and watch how the offensive linemen continue to cut the linebackers and the defensive players for Washington State. That's something you cannot show live when you're practicing for a game like this, and when you haven't seen it all season long, by the time you get into the second quarter, third quarter, you either got to be physical or you start backing up when they come to cut those thighs away from you.
Those cut blocks, they're hard to shed. There's Burdo getting in. Air Force. Points off turnovers. Always a storyline in the postseason. And Air Force gets the first in that category tonight.
Frustration after just really being physically manhandled for this first half. If you're a defense, you're gonna have to take an honest look in the mirror if you're a Washington State Cougar defensive player and figure out something different when you come out at halftime.
Here comes Jake Conkey to make it a 10-point game. Now we'll see what Anthony Gordon and this air raid offense can do with what will amount to a little over a minute and one timeout to work with before halftime. I mean, they've only run 20 plays, 15 pass attempts. This is not a typical first half for Washington State. They just haven't had the ball that often.
They're about running plays. And I want to say this, right? Defensively, they've averaged, Air Force this is, only 58.5 points a game, plays a game. So they're right on track right now.
On first down, that pass was low, but it was caught by Arconado for a 12-yard gain and a first down. That puts him over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. Clock starts to move. Wazoo has a timeout, but not a lot of time in general. 4 wide receivers. Also Borghi coming out of the backfield. Tried to get it to Winston, and it was batted down by Trey Bugg, the Gilbert, Arizona native. He's got friends and family in attendance, and it's second down.
You jump on top of this play right here, and just a little bit behind him. Winston not able to reach back, and defended nicely by Bugg, and he knocks it away, and at least stops the clock for the Cougars here, who can regroup a little bit. And their quick strike ability, it doesn't matter where they are on the football field, what down and distance. They can score from anywhere. They just have to be more efficient than they have been in this first half.
Here comes some pressure, picked up nicely. Time for Gordon to throw. Now he's going to roll him out of the pocket. On the run, flips it downfield, and he spun Borghi around. Couldn't adjust, incomplete. Third down and 10, 48 clicks to go before the half.
You know, one of my big question marks, Clay, was going to be how can this defense, which I didn't think had the same type of athletes that Washington State had, how were they going to match up in man? And there was a perfect example right there. They did a tremendous job. They rushed 4, they dropped 7, a little zone underneath man coverage, and pushed Gordon outside the pocket and had to throw it away ultimately. So they're stepping up to the plate here in Chase Field.
You got to really credit the defensive coordinator, John Rudzinski, in getting this group ready. Gordon over the middle finds Martin, snatches it out of the air to the 30, 25, look out. Tay Martin on the run inside the 5-yard line. Chased down by Fedulum. Here's the big play Washington State needed. 58 yards out of bounds with 34 seconds to go before half.
They've been going back to the well over the middle, putting pressure on these linebackers to get depth. There were plenty of room right there, and Gordon gets just enough over the top there, and him and Tay Martin hook up for a huge play that this Cougar team needed.
First down, goal to go. Pump, Gordon out of the pocket. Still looking to the end zone. He'll flip it that way. Man wide open, it's Borghi. Touchdown Cougars. Yep. That is the 5th receiving touchdown for Max Borghi. Right on the end line. But how about the patience by Gordon to wait for that receiver to flash free? As it happens, it's a score, and we've got a 3-point game now. So that brings us to the half here in Phoenix. It was a good one. 17-14 Air Force with the lead. Stay tuned for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report right after this timeout. Welcome back to Phoenix, and the Cheez-It Bowl is part of Capital One Bowl Mania. That was a good first half here at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. Alongside Ryan Leaf, Taylor McGregor on Clay Mathick. 17-14. Air Force out of the Mountain West leading the Cougars out of the Pac-12. And I was impressed with the defense of the Air Force. Some big plays in that first half hour.
Yeah, they did a tremendous job, but what they didn't do early is allow them to score points. And that's huge because they're not probably going to get a lot of stops.
It's our Chipotle clutch delivery. First half statistics. AC Air Force 202 rushing yards in the first half. Total yards are basically even.
Yeah.
Again, it's the turnovers for Wazoo. The turnover on downs, and then that strip fumble recovery that led to the touchdown for the Falcons. Really key in that first half.
And if you're Washington State, it can't happen again. Yeah. You can't turn over the football in the second half and expect to win this football game, especially with the way Air Force has been able to move up and down the field with this triple option.
A couple of touchdown runs and a field goal. And they have the football to start the second half. They will start from the 25 after the fair catch. Air Force in its 27th bowl game, second straight here in Arizona. Complete to Ben Peterson, only his third catch of the year, but it's a good one, an 8-yard pickup. As Jihad Woods makes another tackle for Washington State. Second down and 2.
You know, that was their chance to get off the field quick and get the ball back to their offense. They aren't able to stop them, and now Air Force starts to do a little bit more. And we watched Beekman come out of the secondary and make that big play for the tackle for loss. That, for me, was the change-up at halftime. They were going to be more aggressive going after the pitch man. That sets up more big-time pass play opportunities.
Mallard on the dive. And I think the forward progress got him the first down. Nnamdi Aguayu finally able to bring him down, but it's going to be too late. It's a first down for Air Force. Christian Mallard, senior from San Antonio. Again, getting extra duty tonight. No Timothy Jackson, their second leading rusher. He was a game time decision because of an ankle injury, and he was ruled out about a half an hour before the contest.
It allows for other guys to get the ball, but it doesn't matter who carries it back there. They're all really physical, and they keep their feet churning just like they did there to get the first down.
Hammond on the pitch. Remsburg follows a block. Good run. First down again for the Falcons. Caden Remsburg. Just great speed. We saw that throughout the year, and we're seeing it again tonight.
I ran the option in high school, and it's just something pretty to watch when it's done right. And they practice it over and over again. That's a late pitch, but the relationship between the back and the quarterback right there was so perfect. He was able to get rid of it right before he got hit.
There's Timothy Jackson. All he can do is look on tonight. You ran the option in high school.
Yes, we did. The veer.
Rolling out Hammond, flips it downfield and overshot Sanders. Man, it is effortless coming out of his hand, but just a little bit too much mustard on that throw last time, and Sanders knew that he had a great opportunity.
Boy, did he. Wide open, Sanders there. He just overthrows it a little bit. He goes down to his knees and says, oh, I wish I had that one over again.
A defense to complement the air raid, especially when you're playing a triple option attack. Remsburg, first down, carry to the 23-yard line. That's a pickup of 17 for the Falcons.
It's a great question, exactly, Clay. And here they just run a speed zone or speed sweep around the edge, and you know the guy man-to-man with them was behind him on the other side of the field and just could never catch up.
Ball control now, 26 minutes plus time of possession. They have doubled up Washington State in total plays tonight. Rock Bellantoni said we need to limit explosive plays and make them earn it. And we have seen a lot of explosive plays throughout the night for Air Force as Hammond keeps it. The quarterback averages almost 5 yards every time he carries it. Another tackle for Woods.
And I would say they've made him earn it. They've made him go 19 plays, right? They've made him earn it. They've turned it over on offense.
Yep. And
that's the difference. And Mike Leach was right there. You know, time of possession is one thing. You don't get stopped on fourth down. You don't turn it over. You're probably leading this football game. So Bellantoni's doing what he said. They're earning it, but they got to get a stop.
Here comes the 11th play of this drive. Inside handoff, Remsburg bounce into the outside, turns it up, first down. He got to the 10, needed the 12. Move the sticks again. Another Woods tackle. He's going to be up over his season average before the night is over. He's working up a sweat. I mean, this is a tough defense to defend. And just when you think you've been lulled to sleep with the runs, the dives, all of a sudden Hammond will step back and pass it. First down, goal to go. Another sweep. Remsburg. We ran out of real estate there on the near side. And he's dropped down at the 7 by Skylar Thomas.
One of the first times all night that I've really not seen him put his foot in the ground and get up the field. They had a slight opening there that could have been for the touchdown. Instead, he kept extending, which allowed Washington State's defenders to keep in pursuit. And that's probably why they're chuckling a little bit there with Remsburg and his coach saying, you know, you put your foot in the ground there, big guy, you're in for 6.
5th possession of the night for Air Force. They have scored on 3 of the prior 4. Second down and goal. From the 7, Hammond keeps it himself. Steps by a man and into the end zone. Touchdown, Air Force. Donald D.J. Hammond III. And that's how Air Force starts the second half. Much like they started the first half.
Design run here, plain and simple. You use the fullback and the tailback ultimately to be your lead blockers. Even your pitch guys out there taking up a body allows DJ Hammond to stroll into the end zone after a missed tackle.
Here's Conkey again with the extra point. It's one of their quicker drives of the night, but still 6 minutes, 41 seconds. 13 plays, 75 yards covered, and Hammond with his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. The Cadets getting out into the community this week and having some fun with kids in the area ahead of Cheez-It Bowl 2019. Boy, it's been an efficient night for the Falcons.
Yeah, 5 possessions, all have turned into points other than that kind of throwaway one before the half where they tried to get into a Hail Mary situation that turned into an interception, but they've been unstoppable as an offense. More disciplined, more physical. The defense for Washington State kind of was a bend but don't break, and they allowing touchdowns and rather than field goals. And if Washington State can't answer offensively, this game could start to get out of control in a hurry.
A win tonight would be the 11th for Air Force. They got to 12 in 1985 and 1998. Troy Calhoun, the head coach now, was a freshman on that 85 team. Their only loss that year was to the defending national champ BYU. See what Washington State can do now on offense. Harris, pretty decent return to get around some folks as we go down to Taylor.
Play after that last offensive series, Mike Leach was incredibly displeased with his offense. He gathered them all up, had some colorful words. He felt like they were moping. He says, you guys need to start worrying about yourselves. And if I see any more moping, I will pull you, and you will have an unbelievable offseason. So certainly not pretty words from the head coach.
The Pirate going to make him walk the plank, maybe. Here's Gordon dancing, throwing over the middle. Arconato. First down and more into plus territory. Brandon Arconato, the go-to guy in go-to moments. And we've under 2 minutes to go here in the quarter. That's a 30-yard play for the Cougs.
This is what they call their dragging package, right? They drag somebody underneath and run an in behind it. Kind of a little play on words there. And sure enough, he waited for Arconato to clear the zone, and he puts it right on the money, and then Arconato does the rest and picks up a big gainer.
Gordon now 237 yards passing. He'll be complete again. Arconato, and he'll get 6 on that catch.
Watch the drag come right across there and the in behind it, and he allows Arconato to keep moving in that zone. and catches it on the move and gets a little block and then runs away from everybody else before he's brought down. Big play there. They're very explosive. They can do this at any time.
Arconato, a guy that never mopes. Mike Leach wishes he had another year or two with Arconato, the senior. No catches last year, third leading receiver this year. It gets better as the season goes on. There's Arconato again, caught at the 22 and down inside the 15-yard line. Gordon with all day to throw.
Yeah, the offensive line does a tremendous job of keeping everything in front of him, and Gordon just sits back there, takes a tea break, and then says, I think I'll get this one to my favorite guy tonight, Brandon Arconato, over the middle once again, and he turns up the field and picks up more yards. This is the quick, explosive plays that they're capable of doing. That stop for Air Force to make them punt was huge because they get back in this game with a touchdown.
Arconato 132 receiving, nobody with over 60 in the rest of the roster. Toward the end zone and through, incomplete. So second down and 10, 11 seconds to go here in the quarter. Washington State down by 10.
The only complaint I would have about Anthony Gordon and what he does in the pocket, especially that a lot of times is he'll just go out, and it probably upsets Mike Leach a little bit. He'll just take off from the pocket. Nothing really there to pressure him quite yet. He'll just move outside the pocket, and it really hamstrings himself and the offensive receivers and not being able to complete a pass.
Second down. Gordon to Borghi. And got out of an ankle tackle and inside the 10-yard line where he's tripped up. And that's going to do it for the third. Trey Bugg. Nice tackle to bring down Borghi. And Air Force trying to bring down the Power 5 Cougars here in Phoenix. We go to the fourth. We go to the fourth in the Cheez-It Bowl here at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. A couple of touchdown passes in the second quarter for Anthony Gordon. But otherwise, this air raid offense, for the most part, held in check, Ron.
Yeah, but they're explosive at any point. And Anthony Gordon's been exactly what he's been all year long. And he's been accurate. He's been great in the pocket. He's got receivers who can catch the ball down the field. His anticipation and his ability to find open guys has been pretty special to watch all year long there. The touchdown pass to Max Borghi. The limiting in possessions for me has been the biggest thing, right? They haven't had a lot of chances. And when they have, they've either converted or, been stopped and turned the football over.
They'll be going to the Senior Bowl. ESPN is going to televise the Senior Bowl practices next month. Gordon throws it out. And we're trying to set up a tunnel screen there for Bell. And he got it to the 6-yard line. What are the NFL prospects for Anthony Gordon? Of course, Falk and Minshew, guys he backed up in the past. They've had NFL success. What are the chances that Gordon has success at the next level?
Well, I mean, I think the success of Minshew this year has definitely vaulted him up. I will say this, he's not as fleet on his feet as Gardner Minshew is. But with that success, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe go in the late fifth or early sixth.
On fourth down and 3, it's going to depend on the spot. From here, it doesn't look like Borghi got it. Yet another red zone stand for Air Force. One in the first quarter and one here to start the fourth for the Falcons D.
I said it a little early. When you run this air raid offense, you spend your whole time as an offensive lineman going backwards, then ask him to go forward. Fedulum right in the middle of the hole to meet Borghi, and he's up to the task. Great defensive stop once again for this Falcons defense.
Number 2, Jeremy Fedulum. He likes to stick his face right in the fan. His brother Clayton is his safety for the Cincinnati Bengals.
What coach say, loves to tackle?
Oh, he loves to put his nose to the grindstone. Perfect mentality for an Air Force player. Maybe not the biggest, most athletic, but just wills himself into the game.
And that's every guy on this Air Force team, right? Willing to...
So the Falcons take over. Couple of red zone defensive stops tonight. Hammond gives this offense some breathing room away from that goal line. Number 13, Jihad Woods. Another tackle, but some pretty good footwork by Hammond on this run.
Wonderful job here, just getting over the top and allowing his lead blockers to go, and he just puts his foot in the ground, turns his shoulders, and this is an opportunity for Washington State and their defense to make a statement. They've been run over all night long, 304 yards rushing already tonight.
So that was a shot down the field intended for Ben Waters, just out of his grab, trying to make a one-handed catch. So now 3rd down and 14, and this is what Washington State's defense has forced too little up. 3rd down and longs tonight.
Yeah, and it was all, you know, a situation where they get a fumble and then a wide open receiver, and DJ Hammond misses them. So exactly where Washington State needs them. You put them in this down and distance, they're most likely not going to get the first down, and will have to punt, which Washington State desperately needs right now.
2nd best on 3rd down in the country this year. Air Force trying to convert. Hammond running for his life, shoots it downfield, out of play, and it's 4th down. Well, Hammond, it looked like he was going to take a sack, but slipped away to avoid that, and they will bring out the punt unit to try and flip the field.
Lamont McDougal once again really making use of the opportunity given to him tonight. He's been a force up front, and there he just breaks the line of scrimmage right off the snap and gets to the quarterback, forces him to throw it away and set up a punt.
2nd punt for Charlie Scott. Travell Harris standing at the 35-yard line of Washington State. Wazoo should get pretty decent field position here. Harris coming up. This is going to come into Air Force territory. Easop Winston on that return, and there was nobody over on that side of the field.
A little trickery, right? Everybody looks to the right side, but Easop Winston stays over and receives the punt.
I didn't see where the ball went. I lost it under these lights.
So they acted like it was coming over here. Everybody ran.
Right.
And Easop was over on the other side. Yeah. What are they doing here? Are they running the plays in the timeout?
Where's that red hat? Back here in Phoenix, and it's Max Borghi on the 1st down play with the catch. And he's going to get a few. So great field position after that punt return by Easop Winston. Washington State defense getting the ball back to the air raid offense of Anthony Gordon. Down 10, under 11 minutes to go here in Phoenix.
Got to run the football here.
And pump to the right. Man open, it's Arconato. Caught at the 16. And right to the middle of the field. Brandon Arconato down at the 13-yard line. Brought down by Garrett Coppola, the strong safety.
When you see the diminutive one like Brandon Arconato work over the middle, that's usually for the job for the big tight ends. But he's been there all night long making plays. And him and Gordon have a real connection going tonight.
Gain of 15. He'll go in motion from right to left this time. Anthony Gordon, 21 of 31 passing, going to the end zone, looking for his 3rd touchdown strike. And that'll sail over Arconato's head this time. 2nd down. A couple of touchdown throws for Anthony Gordon. 16th player in FBS history to throw for 5,000 yards. 5 have played for Mike Leach. Talked about it at the top of the broadcast. I mean, in Leach's offense, quarterbacks find themselves. Gordon, a 5th-year senior, has here in 2019. Trying to lead a 4th quarter comeback. Borghi in the backfield with Gordon. Some pressure coming, picked up well. Man wide open. Brandon Arconato. His first touchdown catch of the night. And just like that, Washington State back in this football game. They take advantage of the great special teams. Return by Winston.
Great play call. Man coverage. Just a little stutter right where the safety stops. And Anthony Gordon and him are just on the same page. That you don't see that happen often. You must have seen something in film and saw where those safeties started to balance.
Mazur with the extra point. Well, that defense made a key stop. Getting off the field, getting the football back in the hands of this offense.
The Cougars on the prowl. Torquemada gets them back in the football game.
So we've got a ball game. Mike Leach, known as the Pirate. Fans drinking a toast to him as the Cougars are within 3 now. I'll tell you what, the defense has really stepped up here in the second half. They've forced punts on the last 2 Air Force possessions. Defense will be called on again here. Well, the up men are going to take it for the Falcons at the 20-yard line. Good return. And out to the 40. That's where Hammond and the offense will go to work. Peterson on that bringback. So Air Force with its 4th possession since halftime. Scored on it the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. We have punts here on the last 2 possessions. They start from the 40. Great field position. Best starting field position of the night for Air Force. Peterson goes in motion. And they'll pitch it out for Remsburg. He has been the workhorse tonight. Nice cut. Making a couple of tacklers miss. And gets to the 40-yard line. Tyrese Ross finally made the stop, but it's a gain of 22 for the kid from Kansas.
Watch this play here as he gets the pitch, and he's looking at what he wants to do, and he sees the plan. He puts his foot in the ground here, gets by Ross and Strong, and then tries to cut across the field. And what a great play by the junior out of Kansas once again. He's been as explosive as anybody. 164 yards already today. Every time he's touched it, it's a 7.5-yard gain.
Now they'll go back to the fullback, Bordeaux. And that dive has been hard to stop on 1st down for Washington State. Strong is the tackler, but he has to come up from the secondary to do it. It's a gain of 5.
They just do this so well. And the disciplined nature of it, I get it. But what they're able to do is just, from a guy who loves football and watches it from a different angle than most, this is pretty special to see how high functioning this team has been tonight against a very talented Power 5 opponent in Washington State.
They're going to take that play clock inside of 10. And Hammond snaps it with about 6 seconds left. Remsburg, another big run. He's toppled at the 20-yard line, an impressive tackle, but he wins the day. It's a 1st down again for the Falcons. And the Cadets loving it.
Again, great job of the quarterback to pitch ratio, and then watch Remsburg take flight for the Air Force Academy.
Remsburg averages 13 carries per game. He has carried it 23 times in this one, averaging 7.7 yards per rush. They'll pitch it to him again. This time he is shut down. Nice play by Cosmas Quete, a true freshman from right here in Phoenix. An amazing story. Graduate of Central High School here in town, born in the Congo. Civil War forced his parents and his 6 brothers and sisters to Zimbabwe, came to Phoenix, introduced to American football, and here he is, a Division I player. And his twin brother also plays FBS football at UMass.
What an amazing story. What a great play. Right there when they needed it, too.
2nd and 12. Bordeaux. Man, he's like bringing down a baby bull. Gets 10 yards back to make this 3rd down and 2. Quete again in on the tackle.
Those don't look like explosive plays, but that's exactly what they are. But that's exactly what that is. It's just a different look, a physical nature. They set up a 3rd and short. Again, I'll make the reference. When they get into 3rd and 2, they are the best in the country at doing this. 87%. Second only to Ohio State when they get it this close.
This will be their 75th play from scrimmage tonight for Air Force. In contrast, Washington State has run just 40 plays. It'll be Burdo trudging for the first down. The senior from Oklahoma. That's another thing. All parts of the country represented on the Air Force roster, obviously. And they come together. It's a great brotherhood. The quarterback's from Georgia, the fullback from Oklahoma, the tailback from Kansas, their best receiver from Texas. And it's a well-oiled machine.
It continues and continues and continues. We just talked about the 2 big stops by this defense, and now Air Force imposing their will.
It'll be Hammond faking the pitch, keeping it himself down to the 4-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go as Ross kept him out of the end zone. So the possession numbers pretty lopsided. It doesn't always tell the story time of possession, but it's really starting to here tonight.
We asked the question earlier in the week. He said it was defensive propaganda. Well, right there is perfect evidence that it's not that. You go out and possess the football for 40 minutes in this game, and you limit what Washington State does the best, and that's throw the football and score a lot of points. That's how you win.
They're scoring almost 50 points in wins as Washington State, under 30 in losses. And Mallard is going to be stacked up. So 3rd down and goal from just outside of the 3. Tackled by Ross. And they have to keep Air Force out of the end zone and keep this a 1-score game.
Yeah, if they can hold them to a field goal, they're right back in it. 4 minutes, time ticking down, ticking down, ticking down. A touchdown would ice this one. Question is, if it gets to 4th down, do they go for it? They have to. I mean, I don't think a field goal really helps.
Toss, Remsburg trying to cut the edge. And he is tracked down from behind by Marcus Strong. Oh, great cover speed by the talented corner for Washington State. 4th down decision for Air Force. Troy Calhoun is going to leave his field goal kicker on the sideline. Conkey hasn't missed a field goal all year, but he's going for it here on 4th.
They're average more than 5 yards a play. You're going with the averages right here. You give the ball to their best player in the backfield. Let Hammond make the decision. Touchdown wins this game.
Hammond, late pitch, Remsburg to the corner, and he did not. They are going to say touchdown. The call is a touchdown, Air Force. Washington State thought they kept him out. Obviously, this is going to be looked at, but Remsburg appeared to get the corner. What a great effort by Remsburg to get to the pylon when it appeared that the defense had the leverage to keep him away.
They did, but he just explodes when he gets the ball in his hand and extends. That's a great camera angle. Ball has crossed the plane in his hand. Just a wonderful job. Great call by the officials. I mean, what a wonderful extension. Look at him extend the football, take the punishment. With their review, they'll probably see that there's targeting there.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
2-score game.
Well, those just 2 athletes going full out, trying to get the stop. I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, it can be called from up top if the replay official decides that targeting was indeed the case down on the field, but they haven't decided to make that call. And it's a 10-point game once again. Caden Remsburg, 8th rushing touchdown. It comes on a big 4th down play here in Phoenix. A lot of Cheez-Its and that gold cup to the winner. So it's a 10-play, 60-yard drive. Remsburg launching toward the end zone, got it in to make this a 2-score game.
Really great effort by both sides of the football there. Defensively by Washington State was right there. College football at its finest. What a great play on 4th down.
And Wazoo will have it at the 30-yard line. Roderick Fisher on that return. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Let's go down to Taylor.
Guys, I was standing right there when Caden Remsburg got the touchdown, and when he had that collision, athletic trainers immediately came and stabilized his head, and he really wasn't interested in moving until Coach Calhoun came over, and he kind of sat up and said, I'm good to go, and they said, no, 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 let's go to the tent. They went into a tent for a few moments. He just came out and was not handed his helmet, so I will keep an eye on what he is up to on the sideline here.
Even if he is done for the night, he has done great work for the Falcons. They have helped get an 11th win here on the season. Max Borghi stays on his feet, gets to the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 9. This is number 24 right after the play. And again, there was no targeting call on that play, but Tyrese Ross did run into his helmet, trying to keep him out of the end zone, and that certainly made Remsburg come up loose.
Yeah. The helmet-to-helmet contact, it's just what we see a lot of.
Winston tracked down just short of the 50-yard line by Zane Lewis, who has had a terrific game in that Air Force secondary. They knew it was going to be a big challenge tonight, that defensive backs crew. And for the most part, they've done a really good job. It's a 1st down. The clock is moving.
It's tough playing defense against this team because you feel like you're doing a good job, but they're putting up a ton of yards. That's what the air raid tends to do.
Borghi can't haul it in one-handed. And lands incomplete, stopping the clock. 2nd down and 10. You know, Wazoo tends to work fast, but they really have to work quickly. Time is of the essence.
Yeah, they're down 2 possessions, which means they have to get a score quickly. Most likely onside kick it, because they just haven't been able to make those stops enough tonight to get the ball back and then hope for the best.
They did score quickly on their last possession, scored in 1 minute and 16 seconds. Their only touchdown since halftime. There's Anthony Gordon. Over 300 yards passing, chase from behind, throws incomplete. He had Tay Martin downfield, also Winston. And neither one comes up with it. It's 3rd down, and this will be a big defensive play for Air Force.
I really felt like Air Force was going to have a difficult time manning up against these great wide receivers for Washington State. And I have to compliment their defensive backs coach, Chip Vaughn, who's just did a tremendous job getting them ready to play, because they've manned up and played a lot of man-to-man coverage and done a tremendous job.
The Cougs 3 for 7 on 3rd down tonight. Pressure coming off the edge. Gordon, quick release. Winston has it. Well short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down as he is brought down to the turf at the 46. DeMonte Meeks with the tackle. And the Cougars not really with a sense of urgency here.
Well, they want to make sure and get the right play calling, because this, realistically, right, it's the game right here.
Blitz coming. Gordon got rid of it to Arconato. Great catch. It was a little bit of a low throw, but Brandon Arconato all night has been making great plays, and they'll keep the drive alive.
Not only was it low, but it was a little bit behind him. And again, Arconato, guy's earning himself some money tonight, to tell the truth.
First down from the 39. Pressured again. Gordon chased, throws it away. And there was Meeks again, the linebacker. One of the better tacklers in the Mountain West. Fafita up front also with some pressure. A minute 37 to go, and this has turned out to be a really good Cheez-It Bowl 2019. Last year's will have something to be desired, but tonight has been a great primer for tomorrow's college football, especially those semifinals.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, last year 9 interceptions. Tonight, certainly not the case. We've seen the best from both of these teams, I feel, and I want to see Anthony Gordon step up in the pocket, be sure, fire one in there for a big play here.
Play fake. Gordon steps up. There's Arconado again. First down. Ball comes out. Penalty flag. Jeremy Fedulum with the tackle. And there was a flag thrown right when the tackle was made. And you got to wonder if this is perhaps a targeting call.
Well, one thing is that Arconado doesn't hold on to the football through. And then this shouldn't be targeting. This is a great tackle by Fedulum. But those flags came in pretty immediately. So the officials saw something in that vein.
Pass interference, offense, number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Sucked it up.
Yeah, it was an offensive pass interference. Tay Martin. There he is. And that really hurts the Cougars. They'll back it up.
You back it up 15 yards on offensive pass interference, and now it takes them back into their own territory. That couldn't have been more of a impactful penalty against this Cougar team right now.
Now Mike Leach has a couple of timeouts left, but time is not on his side. Just a minute 31 to go. Cougars facing potentially ending this season with a losing record. Play off the edge.
Yeah.
Gordon getting heated up. He does dump it off to his outlet, Max Borghi. And Borghi gets it back to the 44 of Air Force. And the clock continues to tick. Washington State will not use a timeout. They'll hurry up to the line. 3rd down and 16. They need the 29-yard line of Air Force. Minute to go. And down goes Gordon. Mosese Fafita. The big nose guard coming right up the chute. 2nd sack tonight for the Cadets. And a timeout called Washington State.
Watch the hands here by Fafita. He gets him and pulls him right by and gets to the quarterback and makes a huge sack here, setting up a 4th and forever. And what a great play late in the football game of a big fella using those hands so well to get to the quarterback. Here we go.
Prevent defense, Air Force. Gordon got it to Winston. He tried to pitch it back to Martin. And it lands incomplete. And that's going to do it. Air Force is going to be able to run out the clock. What an effort by that unit, that defensive unit. So many big plays here tonight, especially inside the red zone.
I talked to Alex Brink, the color for the Cougars, on the radio before the game, and he just said, you know, it's going to be what we do inside the 20. From 20 to 20, we've been great all year, but it was about getting touchdowns when you were in that red zone. They weren't able to do it tonight. Averaging almost 40 points a game. This Air Force team holds them to 21.
I want to say thanks to you, Ryan. It's been a lot of fun. Rookie season at ESPN. You've done a great job. We're so proud of your comeback, too. And it's been a blast working with you. Mark Carlson, our producer. And we're really happy for you, my friend.
Well, I said it earlier. You've been an unbelievable mentor for me to do this work, and I've really loved every minute of it. Traveling all over the country with this group of characters. I'm going to remember this for a very, very long time.
And Air Force is going to remember this season for a long time. It is tough to win 11 games at one of the academies. And Troy Calhoun has done it for the first time. His first 11-win season. And in that Gatorade bucket, some Cheez-Its. How apropos. Champions of the 2019 Cheez-It Bowl.
Those are some soggy Cheez-Its.
I'm sure Troy Calhoun doesn't mind. Celebrate, Cadets.
What a year.
You deserve it. And Donald DJ Hammond III leading the charge. How about Caden Rensburg? Obviously, he has shaken off that hard hit at the goal line, which salted this game away. Mike Leach, great respect for the Air Force Academy. The champs of the 2019 Cheez-It Bowl here in Phoenix. 31-21 the final. Stay tuned. Sports Center is coming up next. Happy New Year from Phoenix, where the Falcons soar high in a victory over the Cougars of Washington State.